Dr. Randy Shepard again, giving you tax tips for the self-employed business professional. And on this particular segment, I want to talk about the in-home office deduction. Now, there's so much to talk about, but I just want to give you just a short scenario as to how to really maximize that thing. It's a powerful thing. Now, I work out of my home. And as I do, I take what's called the in-home office deduction. Now, whether you own a home or even rent an apartment or rent a townhome, you can still take the in-home office deduction. But there's special rules relating to that. I was talking with a client, and they both work out of a bedroom that's made into an office. And you have to pass what's called the exclusivity rule. So I told them they were the gentleman was a publisher of a major magazine going around a certain territory, and then she was had some kind of a business on the that she was running, and they both used. She had her segment of the room set up for her business. He had his, and my first question was, well, let's see if you pass the exclusivity rule. And he says, no, I don't want to do the in-home office deduction. My CPA said that it's a red flag. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Yes, there's been a lot of people over the years that have misused it. And it can become, it is something that they look at. But I've used the in-home office deduction for years, but it's never caused an audit. And so the reality of it is it's not a red flag. There are several areas that the IRS looks at to see, have you abused this area? Because there's certain areas like the auto mileage and the in-home office deduction and travel and meals where people oftentimes will really misuse those deductions. And they find a lot of mistakes in those areas where people aren't being compliant. Well, the in-home office deduction, this guy was using it for years. And I said, my golly, I mean, you know, and it was a big old room. I said, is it used exclusively for business? And I asked him that question, and his answer was, absolutely, it has been. It's never been used for anything else. We don't entertain, we don't take anybody in, we shut and lock the door when we leave. And so it passes the exclusivity rule. I said, take a picture of it, and that becomes proof of it if you ever get audited. And I said, take your in-home office deduction because whatever square footage you have around your house, and then whatever square footage, what you do is you divide that into whatever square footage you have around your house, and that becomes the percentage. In this case, I think it was around 400 square feet, and then he had some stuff down in the garage that he had to store. And we measured that all out. That was exclusively used for his business, that he had to keep for his business. And so we measured it all out, and so in reality, we were able to take about 15% of his mortgage interest, 15% of home maintenance and repairs, 15% of his home mortgage insurance, and many other things that were utilities that were deductible and actually a write-off on his business. And it was a huge tax savings to him. Well, he was mad at his CPA. He was ready to fire his CPA. And I just say, look, in that case, when you got a CPA that isn't going to help you with, and will tell you that it's going to create a flag, you might want to fire him. But a lot of CPAs want you to know that you've got to be IRS compliant. And one of the biggest things is, the number one rule is that area used exclusively for business, and are you using 51% of it in the course of your business for business? So if you are, then you probably qualify for the in-home office deduction. And it can be a huge tax savings for you. And if you're not sure, remember, this is not tax advice for you personally, but a tax idea for you to take to your CPA or tax professional to see if this is going to work for you, and have your professional help you so that you might be able to save thousands of dollars